Collected Development here with part 2 of Captain America, issue 425 from March 1994, volume 1. Writer Mark Grunwald and penciler David Hoover from Starman and other Marvel titles. Grunwald, the writer, started Marvel in 1978. He even did some penciling along the way and did over 100 issues of Captain America in the 80s and 90s. So we find the newsstand edition, not the embossed foil variant cover that you'd get at the local comic book store here. And what you see is, you know, the very over-muscled, typical early, mid-90s Captain America. Very standard and traditional looking. They were still going back and forth about how to aesthetically make him look and act with a new 90s edge. And they went back and forth, but I think they tried to be very copacetic with this version, this early 90s version of Captain America. He didn't become very extreme or different than what you would see from even like a 1970s Captain America. And maybe that's okay. Maybe with all the extreme, sensational, superpower, more violent superheroes, it was nice to have just a solid rock of a character that didn't change that much. But that said, you could still do a lot of different writing, and I have to say that the writing and art for Captain America at this time and this Fighting Chance story arc is better than average, but not anything that I would say was groundbreaking or new or inventive or like very creative. But that said, this story overall was very nicely done. Has a lot of twists. This issue seems to be more of a setup issue, which you sometimes need, but the penciler does a very nice job, David Hoover, of you know, not just the main image in the front, but a lot of the background you'll see, and the splash pages are really nice, as you can see. So again, it's just a solid panel-to-panel, by-the-book story. You have Cap fighting, and then the doctors telling him more about how the super soldier serum is kind of running out, and he can either fight until he passes away in maybe a year or so, or take it easy and maybe live a longer life. You know, decent esoteric concept of how you should live your life, especially maybe towards the end of it. So yeah, I gotta give them a little credit for being a little more interesting than just fighting bad guys. But here you have a scene where he goes to a bar, and again, like, the people here are very jaded. They're in a bar, and Cap kind of buys them a drink and is more friendly than you know, people would say. And you know, the next round is on me, trying to be more you know, popular and likable as a character, not just you know, goody two shoes who goes home and reads a book and falls asleep, and you know, has the girlfriend, love interest. And again, there is really nice paneling and artwork. It's just very vanilla for even the 90s issues. And again, there's a lot of setup in this issue. There's a lot of confusion about, who is behind all these villains. Again, you have another scene like the bar scene before where, Captain America's trying to be cool with a kid and kind of give him a second chance, and the kid basically says, "Go bleep yourself, Captain America." I think the writer was being very tongue-in-cheek about Captain America's goody two-shoes nature and, trying to have a little more edge, but not being able to really go in a different direction. It was probably the directive of Marvel at the time, who, needed to be kind of on 2 feet for a lot of the titles. And this one, and I think a lot of the Avenger titles, including like Iron Man, Hulk, they weren't as popular as the Spider-Man and X-Men, so they kind of kept them safe, I think, which maybe was a mistake, but it's always fun to read a Captain America. Here we have a cameo by Black Widow in her 90s look, which gotta say wasn't like anything interesting, but it's they were still trying to do things different. You got to give them credit for that. And then you have several splash pages which are really nice. The original Masters of Evil come out, and this is all part of an overlaying plot that I try not to give away here at Collected Development, because I want you to still read anything that you might be interested in. But you have Super Soldier and other villains. You have Vision in the early 90s outfit, and Black Knight, and again Black Widow. And a lot of setup, a lot of struggle with this fighting Chance. And what's really cool is they show his Brooklyn Heights headquarters. They show this like cutaway axe on a metric, and even the floor plans. As an architect, I love this as a kid. I would look at it and be like, oh, I need to do this and that. And then there's just some pinups at the end, but you get your pinups, your extended story, multiple splash pages, even like a darker version of Captain America, very 90s stylistically, and then it goes to the next story arc, or issue of the story arc. So there we go with the flip through, and review is next.